Hello everyone, and welcome back to another part of the Red Embrace Hollywood LP. If you just stumble upon this video without watching the past parts, please check out the past parts. If you want to go in blind, there are links in the description to the games, and if you want to support the dev in another way, there is also a link to their Patreon in the description. Let's jump right in. The night sky flicked past outside my car window, its stars almost invisible through all the light pollution. I was on my way to South Los Angeles, courtesy of Charisse's driver. He never said a word, which was slightly unnerving, but the circumstances didn't really lend themselves to small talk. Only a few days ago, Marcus and I had taken the same sedan to the Hollywood Heights Hotel. And now here I was riding it again, rolling out like a bowling ball from Charisse's fingertips. Unlike my previous mission, I hadn't been given a lot to go on. All I knew was the description of Charisse's agent. A Latina, Ishkari blood, gray suit with blue shirt, appeared in her mid-30s. She'd gone missing a few days ago, and even though Charisse said the agent usually took lengthy vacations, I had a bad feeling about this. Before long, the sedan pulled over to a seemingly random point on the street. Of course, the driver didn't say anything, but I could guess that this was my drop-off point. Interesting background. I really like the lighting. I left the car for the streets of South LA, wondering how exactly to start my search. Asking around wouldn't be a bad idea, though most of the people passing by looked pretty unsavory. I could also try to track her down myself, if there were any traces left of her scent. My best bet was probably to look for any clues or signs of a struggle, try to track her scent, ask around for info about the agent, or go watch a movie. I don't know what to do. The thing I'm like, I want to just go watch a movie. I don't want to do this. I'm so tempted to save, but I'm not going to save. Could ask around. The thing is, like, I'm afraid that will pick up attention if we start asking around. Oh, I don't know. If it's like this, does this mean we could go like multi-choice? I don't remember. Alright, we're gonna go look for clues. Clues! If she'd been attacked, there might be some kind of clue left behind. It was a long shot, but it might be worth a try. I combed through the streets and the alleys, trying to find anything that would give me a hint of the agent's whereabouts. There was nothing to be found besides litter, grime, and general human misery. I had to take a different approach, maybe something more suited to my Ishkari talents. I should have just asked for information, I guess. I wandered back to my starting point, mulling over what to try next. Ask around for info. I hate using my powers, though. Because of the thing, like, you sort of lose yourself when you do that. But, I mean, if it's a sort of... if that was a clue to what we should be doing. Rumors and potential witnesses were probably my best bet. I'd have to remember I was dealing with mortals, though. I wasn't sure if that made things easier or harder. Unless this is a multiple choice and we end up having to go to the movies anyway. I wandered around for a little while, talking to a few people who seemed like they hung out on the street. Prostitute, pimps, dealers, the homeless. But most of them weren't willing to talk, and the ones that did talk hadn't seen the agent. Just as I was starting to feel frustrated by my string of failures, someone on the street caught my eye. A middle-aged man leaning on the wall outside a storefront, his eyes intently flickering over the people passing by. He looked like the type of guy who probably drove a white van with tinted windows and carried chloroform in his back pocket. But with that keen stare, he might have seen something. I don't lie. Without pausing to consider my questionable decision, I quickly approached him. Oh no. Well, hello there, honey. Oh god. The man's eyes roamed over my face, crawling down my body. Judging from his eager, predatory smile, I probably wasn't dealing with some pleasant gentleman out for a smoke. Hello, you look a little lonely over here by yourself. Hey, I was wondering if I could ask you a question. I'm looking for a Latina in her mid-30s, gray suit, blue shirt. You seen her? I'm like, let's go down to business. Let's do that. Let's go. Woo! Oh? Maybe. Maybe not. He cackled delightedly, a high-pitched sound that was too full of excitement. And maybe I'll tell you if you come back with me somewhere nice and private. Listen, this is important. I really need to find her. Or tell me what I want to know right now or I'll beat you into a slimy pulp. I'm tempted. Oh god. Let's not go to violence here. Listen, this is important. I really need to find her. Oh, it can't be that important, honey. I'm sure she could wait. We can talk about whatever your little heart wants, but let's have some fun first. Well, this was a waste of time. Hey, wait! We can have all sorts of fun together, I promise. No, I don't. Goodbye! But I was already turning away. There's a pretty high chance Sleazy Slimeballs didn't know anything, and even if he did, I probably wouldn't be able to get it out of him without debasing myself. Ugh. Maybe it was better to try and look somewhere else. Hey! As I heard further down the street, a different voice called out to me. I turned to see a young woman hurrying up to my side, some human I'd never seen before. I overheard you talking to that guy back there. He's the manager at the shop I work at. She giggled, twirling a strand of hair around one finger. Girl, I don't need this right now. I'm so sorry. I see, but did you want to tell me something? Or shop? Like a brothel or what? I see. Did you want to tell me something? Yeah, actually. I was on the street with him the other night when we saw the girl pass by. The one you mentioned? Thank god I just went straight to the point. My boss, he wanted to go on a date with her or something, so he followed her down the side road, the one back there. She flicked her thumb over her shoulder towards the alley at the end of the block. I don't trust this. Did she go inside somewhere? Was someone with her? Did she look hurt or stay silent? Did she go inside somewhere? No, that's what's so weird. My boss said she vanished somewhere in the alley, but I don't know where she went. It's a dead end. It sounds like your friend, so maybe you can figure it out. You look like you know what you're doing. Thank you, miss. I'll just go see if I can find her, or that's because I do. See ya. Or, yeah, it's not going to be you. Bye. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not. That's fucking hilarious. I love that. Oh, I really need to play a character that chooses all these kind of answers nah, nope. I'm gonna be rude. This is so confident and cocky and I sort of love it. Thank you, miss. I'll go see if I can find her. Yeah, good luck. Hopefully I didn't fall into a trap. Turning around, I made my way towards the alley the girl pointed to, keeping my eye out for any signs of struggle. But I couldn't see or smell anything, just a putrid mix of urine and sweat. And when I wandered further in, I realized why they thought the agent disappeared. It was very much a dead end. Except for the manhole leading to the sewers. If the agent was chasing someone or running from someone, it seemed like a perfect escape route. Knowing I had to be on the right track, I grabbed the manhole cover and easily yanked it off. A damp, smelly darkness yawned at me from below, but unfortunately it seemed like the only way forward. I wonder if I just went to the movies, she would be right there. So watching a movie, keeping it down low. After clambering down the ladder, I stopped off the bottom rung into murky shallow water. A few rats darted away squeaking in terror, like I barged into a private meeting. I really hadn't come to LA expecting to splash around in the sewers, but life was full of surprises. This art is so good. Blech. I cautiously made my way forward, trying to spot any signs of the agent. The stench of sewage was almost unbearable. It was bad enough as a human, but as a vampire, I felt like I was snorting a line of garbage. Ew. Ironically, just a few hours ago, I'd been lounging in an extravagant hotel suite. And now, here I was, getting intimately acquainted with the LA ways. In the middle of all that filth and vermin, I pondered how. This seriously wasn't worth it. I was just doing what I had to do. A shit hike was good practice. That's being very positive. I sort of want to choose that. This seriously wasn't worth it. I don't feel like that's our mindset right now. Although, vampire, everything smells like shit. Aww. I like the last one, just because it's a little positive, even though it's oh, it's my life now. A shit hike was good practice. If I wanted to go anywhere in my unlife, I'd have to get used to the filth beneath the surface. Oof. Oof. This was probably just the beginning of my descent, and the worst was yet to come. The further I ventured into the sewers, the more uneasy I felt. Hope I don't die! My sharpened instincts jumped at every noise, every strange flicker of light, and yet nothing came out of the darkness. Then, over the awful smell of LA's various waste, I suddenly picked up a different scent. Blood. But it was strangely acrid, a warped version of the sweet smell I was used to. I'm guessing that's how vampire blood smells like, unless something really gross happened. I followed the bitter scent down several tunnels, staying on high alert. Closer. It was so close now, and anticipation filled my empty gut. I rounded yet another corner, and then the smell stopped. It was the strongest right here, but I couldn't see anything but water and floating garbage. Had I missed something? Oh my god, is it above you? Just as I was about to turn around, my gaze fell on a ruined TV laying on a pile of clothes. It looked unnatural, out of place, and the water around it was a different color. But as I stared at the TV set, I slowly realized I wasn't looking at someone's discarded trash. Oh my god. The screen was torn out, but instead of exposed wires inside it... Oh god, I saw a mangled head. Ugh. Pile wasn't just clothes, it was a body. Don't show me anything gross, please. I don't... Bleh. With a chill crawling up my spine, I slowly stepped closer, studying the corpse. When I recognized its figure, my stomach clenched in dread. This was Charissa's agent. At least from what I could tell, her body was completely mutilated. Someone had opened a hole in the bottom of the TV and stuck it over her head. Examine the body more closely or back away. We need to get information! She looked like she had been attacked by a wild animal. Huge chunks of flesh sliced off, bones sticking out, clothes torn into shreds. Ew. I read ahead. I shouldn't have. And more strangely, she was missing her eyes and ears. But judging from the precise cuts there, they'd been removed with almost surgical precision. As my eyes traveled down the massacred body, I spotted something on the ground by its side. It was a small piece of oddly bright stationery printed with almost mechanically perfect handwriting. It's always the same. It must have been a note from the killer. Charisse would definitely want to see this. I'm glad I looked over things. I bent down to gingerly grab the paper, folding it up to stick it in my pocket. Nothing touch me, please! At that moment, I felt something on my shoulder. Please be a rat! Please be a rat! God, please be a rat, because I can't handle anything else. A cold grasp squeezing tightly. I don't like this. Turn and attack. Who's there? Stay silent. I'm gonna stay... Who's there? Stay silent, you know? I stayed silent, unsure how to react, or even if I could react. The presence behind me didn't move or speak. It felt like it was waiting for me to do something. But when the next few moments passed by and the next, I heard a quiet sigh and... Okay, I need to calm down. I heard a quiet sigh and the hand on my shoulder slowly turned me around. You have a fascinating method of self-preservation, or perhaps more accurately a lack thereof. Who are you? Jesus Christ, Marcus! There stood Marcus, his pale eyes shining brightly. Look, I didn't know who it was and I didn't want to like attack a friend, so... I'm glad it's just you, Marcus. Was that really necessary? How did you sneak up like that? Or fuck, you scared the shit out of me! Should I just be happy that it's just Marcus? Oh my god, my heart is beating so fast. How did you sneak up on like that? Like, we're a baby vampire, of course he's gonna be able to sneak up on us, especially if we're not concentrating on the stuff around us. It's between, was that really necessary, or fuck, you scared the shit out of me. This is taking me too long to decide what to choose. Fuck, you scared the shit out of me. Well, we are in a sewer, so I suppose that's as good a place as any. Marcus! I know he was gonna say that. It's like, if I say this, he's gonna say something like this. I hate you. Stop it. I love you, but I hate you. Turning away from me slightly, Marcus lowered his gaze to the gory mess of flesh that was once Charissa's agent. I saw a keen interest in his eyes, almost fascination, not a look you'd usually observe a mangled corpse with. I gather the Red Queen sent you here. She will applaud your investigation skills, no doubt. Tell me, just what do you believe happened to this unfortunate soul? Did you run into some twisted psycho who decided to kill her? Or someone was chasing her and caught her? Or they cut her eyes and ears? This wasn't just mindless killing. This one. One would be inclined to think so indeed. What are you telling me? A message or perhaps self-therapy of the most visceral kind. Hands clasped behind his back, Marcus strolled towards the corpse, circling around it with an analytical light in his eyes. The bottom of his long coat switched in the discolored water, soaked and dripping, but he didn't seem to particularly mind. I suggest you tread very carefully around this matter, Antonio. There's a sense of formless malice in the air, a festering loathing that something created. Do not underestimate the wretched. I'll find whoever did this and make sure they don't harm anyone else, or it's Sharice's problem. It's Sharice's problem, not mine. You just sent me to get the agent. Or why are you here anyway? To investigate? I'm actually more... Yeah, I'm wondering this a lot more than the other ones. I'll find whoever did this is something Antonio would say, but I think this is more like, why are you here anyway? Tell me. In a certain sense of the word, yes. I am not here on orders, merely a scientific curiosity. As Marcus's calm drawl echoed off the walls, putting me slightly more at ease. My body seemed to suddenly remember the stench around me, making it difficult not to gag. It was the acrid smell of the agent's blood, churning in my gut, even overpowering the scent of rotten flesh. Ah. As if sensing my thoughts, Marcus took a deep, long sniff of the air. His eyelids fluttered and closed. If you're puzzled as to why the smell of her blood is so wretched, beyond the advanced state of decay, of course, it's because of a rather curious phenomenon. He wandered back towards me, observing my face intently. To mankind, vampire blood is wonderful, intoxicating, a drug beyond any other. Losing my voice. In fact, it gives them certain temporary powers, usually a very weak form of their donor's own. But to other vampires, another Night Stalker's blood is the most repellent taste on earth. That would make sense that just to prevent, like, a killing from, like, drinking blood, I guess? A very few of our kind can drink vampire blood without throwing it back up, but in most cases, we are all but toxic to each other. So even if a vampire drinks another vampire's blood, they don't get any powers. Or, I was hoping it'd be a special bonding thing. Or, I guess whoever killed the agent wasn't out for her blood then. So even if a vampire drinks another vampire's blood, they don't get any powers. Ooh, Marcus, you know something. Not the blood, no. Is it the flesh? Okay, now, the flesh. That's a very different story. But perhaps one best left to your imagination for now. Yeah, do that, thanks. He offered me a thin smile, one without much trace of humor. Then it faded from his lips. He glanced towards the agent's body, studying it for a long few moments. I'm a little worried. Well, enough for such morbid trivialities. I should be crawling back to my shop, but before I do, I wanted to mention something that you may find important. Oh, what might that be? Or, more sagely, advice? Or, can't we just talk about kittens or something for once? I'm tempted to say that, because I'm pretty sure, like, at this point, Antonio's like, Okay, you know what? Let's just... Advice. Take his advice. We're supposed to not trust him by his own words, but, like, give me advice, yo. Oh, what might that be? Now, despite what you may think, the number of vampires in Los Angeles is very low. Most of us all know each other, or at least each other's names. So everyone knows me, apparently now, I guess. And that's exactly why word about you will spread faster than harpies in a game of spin the bottle. In fact, I have a mind to believe it's already spreading. Everything you do or say will get out somehow, so keep that locked up in your mind somewhere safe and sound. I guess I should try to keep a low profile then, or... Well, any publicity is good publicity, right? not exactly true. Or they can talk about me all they want, I don't care. I'm tempted to say the last thing, just because for my mindset, like, people can talk all they want, I don't care, as long as, maybe. I guess I should keep a low profile then, because I can't really do that because I am basically the newbie, especially with me being under Sharice's thumb, and like doing these things. And I do care. Well, I guess we sort of have to do this, because I don't want to do the last one, or the second one, so... I guess I should try to keep a low profile then. You most certainly can, but I would suggest a different solution, okay? Consider associating more with your fellow Stalkers of the Night, indeed as often as you can. Not just the vampires who share your beliefs either. A creature is corrupted when they hold in higher esteem those who agree with them rather than those who don't. They hold higher esteem in those... I think that's written wrong. A creature is corrupted when they hold higher esteem in those who agree with them rather than those who don't. Make allies, or at least observe your enemies, because someone will always find a fantastic excuse to hate you, even if you make Jesus look like he wasn't trying hard enough. You can find our kind everywhere. The slaughtering house, the abattoir, I mean to say. Yeah, I found out what that meant. Thanks, Marcus. The streets, the bar, the beach, the hotel. He gestured grandly in a half circle with one hand, as if using the surrounding filth to symbolize LA. And you know where my den of depravity is, of course. I need to visit you. I'll start looking around for allies. Thanks, Marcus. Or, time to jumpstart my vampire social life. Feels like high school all over again. Or, I don't know, I have a hard time getting along with other people. I like the little one. Time to jumpstart my vampire social life. Feels like high school all over again. So it does, so it does. Who will be the prom regent of Los Angeles? I will wait the finale with bated breath. Oh, he looks... stop! Oh god, I love his face. I'm making weird noises. I don't mean to. He exhaled a long, quiet sigh, smiling wistfully for some reason or another, but probably not from sympathy. What is up with you, Marcus? But just as he turned to leave, Marcus paused, throwing a sudden glance back towards me. I'm sure our roads will cross again sooner or later, Antonio. Yup, that smile, yo. No need to take the one less traveled. It makes little difference in the end. He raised 2 fingers to offer me a casual wave, eyes glinting behind his glasses. Bye! I love you! As Marcus disappeared around the corner, his presence rapidly faded. I really want to be friends with Marcus. Also, I noted- okay, I was thinking this as I was saying, like, I wanted to be try to be friends with Marcus and Heath in this route, but my main goal is to, at the very least, also be friends with Randall. Because I'm not sure if I'm going to even be able to make it to the friend bit. If I can go beyond the friend bit, that'd be cool. If I can't, I want to be in the friend zone here. I want to be friends with everyone, and that's just how I operate. his presence rapidly faded. Okay. Almost as if the darkness had just swallowed him up. For all I knew, maybe it had. With the killer's note in my hand and the image of Sharice's dead agent burned into my brain, I made my own exit. Back on the street, the driver had been patiently waiting for me. Of course, he said nothing as I climbed into the sedan, even though I probably smelled like all of LA's bodily waste. Oh god, I need a shower. Surely even he wondered sometimes if he was being paid enough for all of this. The glimmering hotel lobby welcomed my return with warm lamplight. But the second I stepped inside, the desk clerk hastily mentioned me over, offering me the telephone and a scribbled phone number. Apparently Sharice was traveling and couldn't receive my report in person, so I'd had to ring up her hotel. Yes, Sharice Locke speaking. Her voice crackled sharply at me, brisk as ever. Who is this? Your favorite little mistake! Hello, Charisse, it's Antonio. Ah, good. I was expecting you to call. I apologize for not being there to speak with you, but I'm afraid I had to attend to a business matter. I assume you found the agent then? Give me the details of your report. Tell her everything. Tell her most of the details, but leave out some. I don't know what to do from here. I'm gonna save here, because I feel like this is gonna be like a little important later on. Not like right now, like really fast in the story, but maybe like later on in the story it's gonna like bite me in the ass. I want to tell her most of the details, but leave out some. But what would I leave out? Would I leave out the note? Or is the note important? I need to know what some of the details I would be leaving out would be. If I tell her everything, do I mention like Marcus being there? I forget what Marcus told me. Tell her everything. I describe everything that I could remember, mentioning the agent's body and the way I discovered her. There was the note too, which I read out to Charisse. Oh, so I'm guessing I would have kept that to myself, the note thing. Because it's like a sort of like an afterthought kind of thing. I see. After I finished, the line went silent for several long moments. It doesn't seem like an act of intimidation, but it's most peculiar to leave a body in the sewers regardless. Her halting words sounded a little wary, concern rippling through her voice. To be perfectly honest, this strikes me as the work of an independent rogue or serial killer rather than an assassin. Rather unnerving, to say the least. We should all be careful until the culprit's found. The price of my therapy bill is going to be even more unnerving. Well, she's dead and what's done is done. I like the last one and the first one. We should be careful, or like what's done is done and have to move forward with it. We should all be careful until the culprit's found. I agree. It may be an isolated incident, but I would rather not lose any further associates to some unhung killer. Charisse poignantly cleared her throat, and just like that, glided onto the next subject. Your timing, as always, is perfect. I recently received a message about a few problematic mortals. Oh boy. These past 2 nights, it would appear they've been searching for vampires, most likely as part of some supernatural tabloid publication. That was really stilted, they were long words. She let out a quiet, wary exhale that suggested this kind of thing wasn't new. Normally it wouldn't be anything but a mild nuisance, except these mortals are gingered close to the Mavar hideout on the beach. Oh no, I gotta go. I gotta go tell them. Because even Randall's like, we gotta keep it down low. And I assume you know first-handedly how ratty Randall and his fellows are. I couldn't really tell if her pointed remark was supposed to be accusing or sympathetic. Knowing Charisse, though, it probably was safe to assume the former. Therefore, to put things bluntly, I need you to drive these hunters. Therefore, oh, I forgot there's hunters too! My slip-up helped me remember that. Oh boy, I don't want to ever deal with- wait, what if hunters did this? That'd be interesting. I completely forgot that hunters exist in this world. Therefore, to put things bluntly, I need you to drive these humans away. You are up to the task, I assume. Of course, I'll be right on it. Or, fine, I'll take care of them for you. Or, okay, but why me? Okay, but why me? Because I have some degree of faith in your abilities, and you ought to make yourself useful. Thanks, Charisse. And perhaps more importantly, you are under less risk of being attacked by Mavar if they see you. That's true. Feel free to employ whatever means necessary. Just ensure that Randall's street urchins don't follow their- oh god. Just ensure that Randall's street urchins don't show their faces on the nightly news. Will do. They wouldn't like that either. Well, Randall wouldn't like that either, so I'm pretty sure I could just ask him for help, like, hey, yo, you have humans around here that are looking for vampires and we have to keep the down low? Just telling you. Very well. Unless there's further business, I'll leave you to your devices. That's all. Good night, Charisse. Or nope, goodbye. Or leave me to my devices is that idea. That's all. Good night, Charisse. Good night, Antonio. I'm hoping I'm making friends. I mean, like Marcus said, like we should have like a point of view of everyone. I'm playing this like after I finished Greedfall, and that was like you play a very diplomatic character. They get like all their information, and then you make your own conclusions. So I'm in like that mindset right now. With that, the line clicked off, and my second mission for Charisse came to an end. It seemed like this was going to be my new routine, at least until the war was over. So for better or worse, I'd had to settle into it. At the desk clerk's insistence, I changed into a bathrobe and let the staff wash my disgusting clothes. By the time I returned to my room, still swaddled in fluffy pink cotton, the sun rays were beginning to loom dangerously on the horizon. I was meeting Randall at Saturnalia tomorrow, which would presumably be more relaxing than tonight's adventure. When I left the beach house, he sounded eager to see me again, so hopefully I wouldn't be stood up. Is this a date? Oh, he's like, I just wanted to get drinks together and it's not a date. Are you sure? Crawling under the covers, I curled up in comforting darkness. Soon sleep took me away, blocking out the painful sun. The end of another night in Hollywood. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for now. I am doing a longer recording session, but I'm trying to do the parts thing because I started it, might as well finish with the parts. And it has been a whole section of a thing. This game is really good about like sectioning off things and like, oh, here's the end of this scene, here's this part, here's the next day. So I really like that. Thank you, devs, for doing that, because some visual novels you don't really know when like you should end a part, but I can with this game. So thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next part. Bye-bye. Alright, stats. I always do the stats at the end of the thing. How we doing? How we doing? Have I been going down the reserved path? I don't remember how I was at the beginning of this game. I was determined, right? Now I'm more reserved, which actually fits more with like my mindset. Diplomatic, human-like, but we're going in the middle. I would like to stay in the middle, to be honest, so I should probably drink from someone soon. Oh well. Well. Did we go down with the Mavlar? Is it because I'm nice to Charisse? I mean, I'm basically under her wing, like her big ass wings for now. So I sort of have to be like careful of how I tread around there. See you, I guess. Oh no. It's weird doing these parts now, especially since I plan on recording another one after this, so. See you then?